Why don't we go ahead and start? It is 7:02. I like to, let me see, introduce the members that are here from the LEPC. Chief Fisher is here, and Angela, and let me see, Tony, are you here for Board of Health? Okay, you're muted. Tim, could you unmute Tony? There we go.
How's that?
That's much better.
Okay, yes, yeah, I'm here for Board of Health. I think Donna's here too.
And Todd.
And Todd.
I'm here too.
Okay.
And Linda, but I've lost my picture.
Oh, hi, Linda. Okay, sorry. That's why I was looking for you. Oh.
Don't know what happened.
Huh. Oh, yeah, there you are.
No?
In video.
Well, your Hollywood Square is there. It's just empty.
Yes.
How I feel.
Okay, why don't we get started? Welcome to the Town of Carlisle Board of Selectmen. This is both an informational session with the Board of Health, School Committee, and coronavirus, about coronavirus. I see Christine Lears here for school and Jim O'Shea.
And Eva Mustafi.
Oh, and Ava, hi, sorry. Okay. And I just wanted to, go ahead. Why don't we start with Chief John Fisher, Chief Fisher.
Good evening, all. Just want to give you a brief LEPC update. The LEPC has been meeting Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 10 till about noon. We met yesterday. Each division gave a report. I think we're at a pretty good spot. Both police and fire are in a pretty good spot as far as protective gear. Our members, although we're each down at least a person or a few, we've not been greatly impacted by this directly. But most importantly, I think that our LEPC is a cohesive unit, and we've worked through a good number of things, and I think we have a pretty good plan in place to keep Carlisle safe during this time. But I'd like to thank all the members for their diligence. It's been a great team effort. I know that Chief Soros is not going to be able to join us tonight. The fire is training, but from all of us at LEPC, we're hoping that folks in Carlisle are doing their best to keep safe distancing and to ensure that they're doing what they can to keep themselves and neighbors safe. We'd also ask you, you probably saw the initiative, and maybe somebody else will talk on it. We're encouraging folks to call their neighbors, check in on their neighbors. So if your phone rings, it's probably not because people are trying to be rude. It's because they care. We care about folks in Carlisle. There's also a dedicated group that Lori Eckler has going to do shopping or run errands for those in need. So we're hoping folks will take advantage of that if they need. Angela Smith's been out working everybody as always, keeping our seniors safe. And the schools have been a phenomenal partner in this, both directly with keeping us up to date on what's going on in the schools, as well as supplying things like laptop computers so that town employees could work from home, including my own administrative assistant at the police department. So that's just one small example of everything the school department's done. So if folks have questions, though, we stand ready to answer them. But I feel that we're at a good spot in Carlisle right now. And most importantly, we hope that all of you feel safe here in Carlisle. Thanks, Kate.
Thank you, Chief. I just wanted to also point out that Chief put out a press release about being outdoors in Carlisle, and reminding everybody it's okay to be outdoors, to be using the trails, but please to be respectful of the social distancing protocols even when you're outdoors. And I just also want to add that Michael Busak from the trustees evening to tell me that they have like 118 properties that have been closed since and they are reopening them. And they have a list of 75 properties which don't require staffing in order to open. Reserve, which is in Carlisle. So what they're asking people to do is to use only the lands that are in their town. And Malcolm Preserve is in ours. And it's okay to go use it, but to, again, please limit your visits and keep your dogs on leash. And in this case, because it's not dogs to be leashed there, and to stay 6 feet from other visitors. Okay. Lori, your name came up. Why don't we have your report?
We actually had our first neighbor today.
Wow.
So exciting. I'm glad people are taking advantage of the opportunity to get the support they need. So we'll be setting them up with some items they need on their grocery list and delivering them to their house. So they were grateful, and we're grateful that they're accepting the offer of the neighbor response team.
Good. We hope I hope that person will talk to their other friends who will then,
Spread the word.
feel that it's, they're the first, or that it's something wrong with asking for help, or that's great. I'm very pleased.
They were
to hear
grateful.
that.
And then we'll try to publish more information in the Mosquito and online this week about the opportunities to both volunteer the support that you need.
Great.
Hey,
Angela?
I'd like to add from the Carlisle Phone Pals, I had the music teacher from the school contact me because 2 of her students wanted to sing songs to some seniors. So we'll have our first sing-along tomorrow, and then I'm hoping to have the other one set up for Thursday. So people are starting to get connected.
Excellent. Excellent.
Great.
That's good news. Angela, would you like to add anything?
Just that if there's any senior out there that hasn't reached out to the COA, we're monitoring our voicemail, and if you have any issues or you need help, please know we're there for you.
Okay. Okay, Robert, let me see. Todd, would you like to say something for Board of Health?
I don't have anything specific.
Linda.
Yeah.
Without your picture there, Linda, I'm having trouble finding you. There you are, okay. Linda, would you like to say something for Board of Health?
I'm still trying to find my own picture. This is so frustrating. It's worked fine up until now. I think the board just wants to thank the residents of Carlisle for, paying attention to the guidelines. Everyone seems to be managing fine. We have not had many complaints. And I think that the town will see the results of all of this effort in the next couple of weeks. So our case numbers have not changed. We're still at 5 confirmed, 6 contacts. And so that's been pretty much the same the last few days.
Excellent. I want to remind people that if they want to ask questions they could write them in their chat window. If you're on the phone, you can't use the chat, obviously, but you can certainly email us at any time, either now or anytime this week or next week. We will be meeting Tuesdays and Thursdays at the same time to answer any questions people have. So I just want to remind you to please send in your questions if you have them. or chat them in now if you have some right now that you want to have answered. Okay. Anybody else? Christine and Jim, would you like to talk about the schools just briefly, or?
Go ahead, Jim.
Excuse me. I guess I would say thanks to Chief Fisher for coordinating the whole LEPC organization, which is doing a really great job of keeping everybody connected and communicating. The schools, this week we entered our phase 2 for distance learning. So for the first 3 weeks of the closure, we were really trying to provide students with enrichment activities to keep them engaged and connected while also supporting their social and emotional needs. But knowing that this is going to continue at least through May 4th, we've decided to move forward with the curriculum as best we can. So we started implementing that this week, and so far things are going well, and we're happy to hear feedback from parents on their experiences if they want to share that. So that's what's taking place on the educational side. And the other side is we have some resources available, as Chief pointed out, if any of the town officers would benefit from using some of the technology, if they need technology, we can support that. And we look to help in any way we can as we move forward. And I want to thank Lori and Christine for their efforts to support families too. We know we do have some folks that may need assistance, and hopefully they're reaching out to those too. And it's a great support network that's in place here in Carlisle, and we really appreciate it.
Excellent. Okay. Anybody I've missed that would like to be recognized tonight to report? Alan, would you like to add anything from LEPC for the?
No, I think John did a great job.
Excellent. Anybody else? Well, seeing none, there's a question. Well, this is unfortunately a question for the mosquito, and I'm not sure we can answer it. Can the mosquito publish safety information regarding pedestrians walking on our streets? I'm out daily and constantly see my neighbors walking on the right side of the road. I don't know. I have to say, I variously walk on the right and the left side of the road, depending upon who's walking on the other side of the road. I try to do it carefully. I don't know if this is a person that is, and there are some times where walking in my neighborhood, I know that there's a couple of places where there's some very steep sides where it's not safe to walk on the correct side of the road because there's no place to jump out of the way on that side, and there's no angle of view. So we can certainly talk to the mosquito and see, and I don't know, Chief, have you had any problems with, pedestrians walking on the wrong side of the road?
Well, I can tell you that I've personally witnessed people purposely crossing the road to avoid being too close to people, and I'm not positive if that's what they're thinking about. I also saw the mosquito weigh in that they're going to see if they could put a few words out about this. Yes. But I think that I've personally seen a lot of people walking on both sides of the roadway. But the good thing is right now, there really isn't a lot of vehicular traffic. We have a fraction of the cars that we would normally see. So I'm not positive what these folks are thinking about, but it's number one, it's something that I will mention. We're having a police department staff meeting tomorrow. I'll bring it up at the staff meeting and talk to the officers several times a day because we are doing the park checks, all the open space checks, and from what I'm hearing from my police officers, people in Carlisle are doing a heck of a job keeping themselves safe compared to the chatter I see from on the chief's emails from some of the other communities. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, so it's something we're going to keep in the back of our minds here, and I will bring up at our staff meeting tomorrow and ask folks to consider, because of course it's critical this time that we do all we can to be safe. So I thank that person for bringing it up, and we'll keep it on our radar screen. Thanks, Kate.
Thanks. Let me see. There's somebody who's also kind of responding saying that North Road, you have to walk on the opposite side as it's so narrow and it has so many blind spots. And this is kind of what I'm referring to. The road I had in mind is East Riding. There's places where there's blind spots and it's really downright dangerous to walk.
That's right.
Against traffic. I think it's much more, and honestly, Chief, you'll have to weigh in on this, but honestly, I feel it's really more important for bicycle safety that they follow the rules of going the one direct, the same as traffic, because a head-on collision is so much faster and at higher speed than, it makes some sense that a pedestrian,
Right. Well, we have more cyclists out today. We had more cyclists out today than I've seen on any day yet this year. But I saw a lot of safe behavior. I saw cyclists passing pedestrians. So I've not personally witnessed any dangerous riding from cyclists. But I think that I think it's something to keep in mind, and I can't even thank people enough for all they're doing here. Number one, to get exercise, keep themselves healthy, but number two, to keep themselves safe. It's been much better than I ever could have imagined, given how dire this is. But anyway, thanks for that, Kate.
Okay, great. Well, again, I'd like to thank everybody for participating. If anybody else has questions, please email them to us. We'll be meeting again. What's today? Today's Tuesday. I don't even know what day it is anymore. But we will be meeting again Thursday. So there'll be ample opportunity to get your questions asked and hopefully answered. And I know the Board of Health has a meeting right after this at 7:30. And we have an agenda, which I will go ahead and read now. And so that we can get to our work and adjourn at a reasonable hour. So we've had our public information session. Also on our agenda is a consideration of emergency FMLA and paid sick leave policies, awarding of the Banta Davis Telecom RFP, appointments to the Conservation Commission, Town Administrator's Report, and liaison reports, and hopefully at 9:15 we'll have adjournment. So Tim, you want to get started? I understand that we're going to put off the consideration of the emergency FMLA. You want to get us started off with that?
That's correct. Labor Council, Nick Anastasopoulos was going to be on the call tonight, but there are certain aspects of this new legislation that could be subject to collective bargaining. Specifically, there are clauses that towns can opt to either exempt public safety workers or not exempt them from the legislation. And it was his feeling that ought to be discussed first in executive session with the board. And we did not post an executive session. So we decided it would be best to reschedule him when we can have an opportunity to talk first in executive session and then in open session. So that agenda item unfortunately won't be happening tonight.
So let me just poll the board then to see if they think we should just put this on our next agenda on Thursday. On our next agenda, I already have a discussion of fiscal impacts of COVID-19 with the FinCom, talking about rescheduling the annual town meeting and town election dates. That's the two things we have on there so far.
Right.
I think we should have it if the Labor Council can be there.
So on Thursday?
I think unfortunately we're within the 48 hours of the Thursday meeting, so we can't can't do it on that. And furthermore, if it's an executive session, it's more or less a conference call between Labor Council and the board. So it could be set up for some morning or some other time. It doesn't necessarily need to be in the evening.
Okay.
Evenings are always better, though.
Well, it can be, certainly.
Could we do it? 6:30 on Tuesday? Before our
Sure.
7 o'clock?
That works.
I could set that up.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that okay with Luke? You too?
Yep, yeah, that's good.
Okay, so let me, that's Tuesday, the 14th, and I'm changing that to 6:30.
One thing I'd like to say just about the agendas overall is that our Board of Selectmen meetings are Tuesday, and kind of other boards kind of, we work around other boards and other boards work around us so that we can make sure that we can have, people are able to attend.
Yes.
So I would like to propose that we try to keep standard Board of Selectmen things to a Tuesday night. Understanding we already have things on the Thursday night, and that's fine, but just in the future, I'd like to try to keep those standard Board of Selectmen meaty things to a Tuesday night, just to make sure that people can attend.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, Thursdays, I'm always going to be a little late on Thursdays, but I will be there. But yeah, no, I agree. I think it makes sense to keep it on Tuesday.
Okay, well, okay. Actually, this Thursday, I suppose it is COVID stuff because it's all rearranging schedules because of COVID. So, okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's a big deal for what's already scheduled, but just, moving forward.
Yeah. Well, actually, it would be nice if we could keep our big stuff, our meaty stuff for, every other Tuesday, for that matter, so that we're not overloaded with meetings. So Tim and I will try to get control of that. It's been a little crazy recently. So it's like, don't even know what day it is anymore. Okay, so the next thing on our agenda is anybody planning on being here for this, Tim, for the Banta Davis was, for instance, David Friedman?
Not this evening. This is yet another item that's not ready for prime time at the moment. The Public Safety Communications Working Group met earlier today to review the two proposals we received for the Banta Davis site. And there are still outstanding questions regarding both proposals to the extent that the working group would like to interview both firms before making a recommendation to the Board of Selectmen. They're kind of like apples and apples. They're not easily comparable. So we think we've got to meet with both vendors before we can make a recommendation to this board. So unfortunately, that item won't be going forward tonight either.
Okay, would you then, this would be one that I would like to have on a Tuesday. I take it the 14th is too soon?
Yes, it too soon because we haven't yet.
So the next regular meeting we would normally have, right, is May 12th? Second and fourth Tuesdays?
Well, there'd be
see, 14th, oh no, 28th.
April 28th, yeah.
April 28th.
We could do it April 28th, certainly.
Okay, if they can do it on the 28th, otherwise it will be on the 12th.
Okay. All right, I'll make a note of that.
We're zooming right through this agenda.
Right. Exactly.
It's great. Appointments.
Yeah, you have in your packet the recommendation from the Conservation Commission to appoint a member to fill the expiring, the remainder of the term of Melinda Lindquist.
Let me go ahead and make the motion. We can discuss it. I move that the Board of Selectmen appoint Dr. Navneet Hundal to the Carlisle Conservation Commission for a term to expire 30 June 2021.
Second.
Okay, discussion? He certainly has an impressive resume, 6 pages long.
Yep.
I almost wish you were looking for the Board of Health. Some of the stuff on it.
Well, she'll be up next year.
Yeah. Any further discussion? All right. I'm sorry, somebody said something? No? All those in favor? We do a roll call. So Barney?
Oscar Lilo, aye. Sorry.
Arnold, I.
Okay,
Oscar
Lewis,
Lilo,
aye.
aye.
good. I got
Brown eye.
Brown eye and Reed eye. So that was all 5 of us.
Okay, very good.
What did I do with my thing? Okay, town administrators report.
Really just only one item for informational purposes for this evening. With your permission, I'm going to set up a municipal aggregation working group
Yes, Bob.
to look at renewing our energy agreements. We've recently been contacted by Colonial Power Group, who has told us this is a very opportune time to be going back out into the marketplace. Energy prices are, in some cases, are at a 25-year low. So I'd like to move forward with that. I know Bob Zog is on the call. Bob is one person I would tap to be a member of that working group. And I think there was another individual that whose name escapes me that Bob had suggested would be good for that. And really, if there's anyone else that wants to be part of that. But and I know Bob is more conversant with energy than I am, but he could probably concur that this is a good time to at least explore what's out there.
Okay, Bob, did you want to give us the name of the person you had suggested?
Sure, it's Glenn Reed.
Oh, Glenn Reed, okay.
Yes.
All right.
Spelled R-E-E-D or correctly?
I think he's an R-E-E-D. Okay. Well, does anybody have any problem with our town administrator setting up a working group for aggregation? Then, Luke?
Just real quick. I thought we went into a 3-year agreement. Sorry, there's going to be a little bit of a lag between my microphone doesn't work on my computer, so I have to call in from my phone. And everybody today that I've been on calls with has said there's a lag.
No, it's good. Your lips are moving at the same time as the sound, so it's okay. It's all
perfect. Good. Oh, good.
Yeah.
So sorry. No, I thought it was a 3-year agreement that we went into, which is why we got a better rate in the first place. But is there an issue if we get out of that agreement, or maybe I'm wrong?
It's a 30-month agreement that's up at the end of this calendar year.
So that's
wow.
Year and a half. So 3 years.
Oh my God.
You got the 3 and the 30, I guess. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing?
I'm in a waiting room. I'm in a waiting room too.
Joe Harry, you in? I got in too.
It's me and Abid.
It looks like we have some people trying to crash our meeting.
Are they going to be sorely disappointed when they find out what it is?
Yeah, well, I think we need to make sure that they don't get any further than the waiting room, because they... Okay.
I'm already in.
Well, bully for you. Good.
Thank you.
So we'll just continue. Was there anything else on your report? Tim, go ahead and have your set up your meeting here.
I really didn't have anything else, Kate, at this point.
Great. Liaison reports? None?
Well, I attended the COA meeting and
this morning, that's right.
yeah, and they're of course sending us the resume of the person that they're recommending for the new director of the COA. So that was the primary takeaway.
Okay. I attended the FinCom meeting last night, and they are looking at both this year's budget and next year's budget, revisiting it. We're talking about possibly asking people, or asking us to ask people not to expend any unexpended funds. for the remainder of the year, that other than salary. And they're looking to see what, they're concerned about getting building up a stabilization fund, and they want to build it up sooner rather than later. So I will let them present, they still had some discussions that they wanted to have before they came to us to talk about it. But there's a short preview of what they might want to be talking to us about on Thursday when they see us. Anything else? I think we might have.
Move, we adjourn.
Second?
Second? I don't think we need to have all in favor. I think we're all in favor.
Thanks,
Thumbs
everyone.
up.
Bye.
Yep. See you
Thank
all in the
you very much.
See you in the morning.
See you in the morning. See the rest of you on Thursday. Thank you very much.